Halo.
3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the Ultimate Halo Podcast with Spartacat and Fletch. For the latest Halo news, discussions, entertainment, and more, subscribe now to Ultimate Halo on YouTube.
What's up, kitty cats? Welcome back to Ultimate Halo. My name is Kenny the Spartacat, and this is another episode of the Ultimate Halo Podcast. It's back. It's black. It's not really black. I don't know why I said that, but it rhymed. But I'm Kenny. I'm going to be hosting the podcast along with my man, my one and only, my partner in crime, my one true love. That is Jack Fletcher. How's it going, my man?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, not much. Just ready to kick this full shizzle off. You can follow Kenny at the Spartacat and then myself at Fletch UH. I just want to give you a little quick insight as to who we are. We're Ultimate Halo. We are a dedicated Halo channel. We've been running for more than 4 years now. We've been to 343, we've been to cool press events. We have done all sorts of stuff, and our content varies quite a lot, and it's evolved a lot over the years. So feel free to subscribe down below, and you can get in on our plentiful of memes.
As we're kicking things off, if you want to suggest a question or discussion topics for the next episode of the podcast, and you're anyone except for Duquesne23, we want to hear from you, so share them with us either here in the comments or on Twitter at ultimate_halo, and it could be featured in the next episode of the show. Moving on, let's get into a little bit of the news.
In the news.
This week, the HCS Invitational was at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. There were some matches featuring the Microsoft Store Pro Amateur Grand Finals. There was also a really cool showdown of Golden Boy versus Walshy, who faced off in the Big Team Battle Bonanza. That's a mouthful. Featuring them boys, Ubernick and Proximity, who are two of the awesome creators in the HCS grassroots program. Definitely check them out if you haven't been following them already. But in the end, Team Reciprocity took home the grand finals and a cool $40,000. I don't think I've ever seen that much money in my life, let alone for playing Halo, so hats off to them.
It's better than a kick in the teeth, yep.
Exactly, right. There's worse ways to make that kind of money. Also, HCS will be present at the Gamers for Giving event coming very, very soon. More info is, of course, going to be on Halo Waypoint or halo.gg. But the cool thing with this event is actually Halo is going to be helping raise money for the charity called Gamers Outreach, and their whole mission is really cool. They're all about supporting kids who are undergoing treatment in hospitals by providing access to gaming and entertainment equipment to help minimize some of that trauma and challenges that are involved of being a patient. Pretty cool stuff there.
There is also another really cool thing. I mean, I love this. I've got an Infinity model in my collection. Dark Horse have released an 18-inch, because
nice and big.
It's all about those inches. You need every single one of them. Of the UNAC Infinity model, it's $300, so it's a fair whack, but you can get that at darkhorse.com, and the detail is absolutely fantastic.
Looks
on this thing.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the best ships you could probably get in terms of models for Halo, so super excited for that one. I probably won't buy it, but I would love to see one in person. So
kind of pissed off because I got the little cute tiny one, the tiny version that was here at PAX West. I love it. It's great. And then this thing comes out and just makes it look shitty as hell.
Yeah, I feel you. I got it for Christmas, so I'm not disappointed, but yeah. In terms of Master Chief on the PC. So as you all know, this lovely package along with Halo Reach is coming to PC, and especially it's important because it's on Steam, which is huge for the communities. So it's going to open so many avenues for the community to flourish and grow. In terms of some confirmed features, Sketch revealed that the team is actively exploring mod support. It's included some discussions with the El Dorito team. If you remember playing Halo
big.
Online. Yes,
big stuff. Do you think they'll actually bring it to the Steam Workshop, though? Do you think that'll actually happen?
I'm not too sure. I mean, it depends how far 343 want to take it. There's a lot of work already being undertaken with this, so I wouldn't rule it out. At the end of the day, I didn't think Halo Reach was even going to come to
Can you imagine,
MCC.
though, like what it would do for our community? Aside from this whole announcement even just existing, the amount of energy that this is going to bring back into the Halo community, it's going to be literally unheard of since the days of Halo CE and Halo 2 on PC. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think some people have really underestimated the the weight of this. It's going to be huge.
Exactly. And then as this is rolling out as well too, there's going to be a rolling release timeline, kind of starting with Halo Reach first on PC, then we'll move on to CE, and then in chronological order from there. So it's kind of nice that we're actually starting out with the prequel for those fans who may have dropped out of the Halo franchise for quite some time. With that though, on Halo Reach, you will have to choose how you'd like to purchase the game, in the sense that it's not going to be shipping as one giant game package. Instead, it'll be broken up in two parts: multiplayer and then campaign and PvE modes, things like firefight and story. So you can choose to purchase either of those together or separately, just depending on what you want to play. But as of right now, still no details on exact release timing or pricing as well.
In terms of some other details, there is going to be some anti-cheat measures. More details will be coming later. Full FOV for your field of view needs will be going to be implemented, so there's going to be some title specific limits. What those are, we don't know yet. There will be uncapped frame rates. I'm pleased to say a few super hardcore dudes out there with your crazy PCs will most likely not be coming to play anywhere, but also that's a limitation of Steam, I suppose, as well. So I can't say I'm shocked on that front. They're also exploring some centered crosshairs with adjustable positioning. As far as I'm aware, the crosshairs in Halo are normally a little bit lower than the center of the screen. Am I right in saying that?
I believe so. We're probably so wrong on that, but I believe that's correct.
I think that's true. So yeah, we'll see what happens on that one. Custom games browser is planned for support on the PC, which will be huge. Just being able to browse on MCC on your PC, some custom games is some juicy stuff. Progression will carry over between PC and console versions, because you will have to log into an Xbox Live account. It can be a free account, it doesn't have to be Xbox Live Gold when you are logging into the Steam version. Halo Reach unlocks from the 360 will not carry over, which is understandable. And then with the release timeline, like you said, it'll be doing this chronologically, and then the multiplayer will come first, I believe. Do you know the deal around that?
Don't know if we got more specifics on which order exactly. I might have missed that since there's been so many different details, but I think they're supposed to come together, I want to say. I do know that Forge is coming later. Okay. Based on what we've already known from the Inside Xbox announcement and then the AMA as well.
Yeah, no, so that's understandable. There's still no details on pricing. I don't think it'd be a full price, to be honest with you. I think because I am not too sure. We can see. I think they want to make it as accessible as they can. So I think an optimal price will be slightly discounted than your normal AAA purchase price. And you can choose if you like to purchase the game one by one as a full package, as you already said. So, Kenneth, anything on that note you'd like to go over, or would you like to move on to the next
I'm just
section?
super stoked that Reach is making a comeback. It's so wild to think that almost basically like a decade ago now, Reach was the huge hit. It was Bungie's last goodbye to the franchise. And here we are all excited about it once again. It's just really cool to see that come full circle.
Yeah, and like people like Marcus Lato, you know, the father of the Master Chief practically, you know, worked at Bungie in the good old days. Even he's expressed his excitement for this. And so, you know, it's a big thing even when some of the old Bungie guys are getting involved. And, you know, to be honest, to see that motion blur disappear, 60 frames, 4K, for me, I think this game is going to
higher than 60
beautiful.
too.
Well, yeah, potentially. I mean, if you're on PC, but I think this game is going to look absolutely gorgeous in modern, updated graphics.
Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Ultimate Halo.
We've got a few topics we would like to run through in this video, and one of the main ones, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail in this video, is how will you fight the hunters in Halo Infinite? Now, me and Kenny have been talking about this quite a bit, and when you look at other Halo games, there was more of a common tactic going on. You would the elite would come up to you, take a swipe, you'd spin round it and hit it in its weak spot in the back. But in Halo 5, you notice it became a little bit more like boss-style encounters. They were much more defensive in gameplay. I mean, actually, on that note, Ken, have you got any preference on how you sort of, you know, would fight them in the Halo games? You know, would you prefer Halo 5s? Do you prefer 3s? What are your thoughts?
I kind of like some of the more classic style of fighting the hunters. They've always been kind of boss units, I want to say. I don't know if that's a good word to use, but they've been so signature and, dare I say it, iconic to the Halo franchise.
Oh, this video's getting flagged. Ah, God damn it.
Jesus. Sorry, Luke. Not sorry. But I think I do prefer the more traditional way of fighting the hunters, but I also see the opportunity that a game like Halo 5 kind of introduced with the addition of enhanced mobility. So that could mean new gameplay that revolves around whatever mobility and mechanics Halo Infinite might have. So we're kind of talking about a couple of different ideas, and it'd be cool to see maybe a longer time to kill, for example, to really strike that fear that we first all got whenever a hunter would kind of show up from around the corner with that giant gun and the laser in one arm and the shield in the other. And it would just kind of strike fear in your heart, and you're just like, damn, how am I going to get past this thing? And you kind of figure it out. You'd get past it, but I think that in some of the later games, like 4 and even 5 a little bit with enhanced mobility, you kind of lose that sense of fear, that sense of urgency with the hunters. So having them be harder to kill, having it take a lot longer, I think would be really cool. Maybe also seeing a better or more diverse combination of enemies or surprises or twists or whatever, maybe even involving the maps or level design as well too, where the hunters kind of interact in a more of an intelligent way instead of just shooting and charging at you as well.
Yeah, I think especially with enhanced mobility, I think, you kind of start to dance around them a lot more compared to, when you played against them in the older games, everything seemed to be a little bit more calculated. But I think that's also one of the reasons why they did become more defensive in Halo 5, because they never really took swipes at you more commonly, because you could quite easily just thrust your way around them, start to sprint a little bit, and then just melee them straight in the back. Although I would like you to talk about the idea you thought about earlier, which we were discussing, because with the worms. But just before you do that, in the comment section down below, I want you guys to actually let us know, how would you like to fight the hunters? Have you any ideas how you could mix up the gameplay styles of them? So let us know that in the comment below. Yeah, so yeah, if you want to let me know what you think to that, Kenny, what your next point would be.
Great setup. What a great setup.
Yeah.
So one thing I was thinking about as well too is obviously the hunters, a little bit of high level lore here. They're made of these little worm things called the Lekgolo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Jeff Easterling can probably correct me on that. But basically there's little worms that are kind of acting as one collective being, which are then outfitted with the different iterations of the Covenant armor and weaponry. But it'd be really cool to see kind of a similar mechanic, I think, to some of the flood enemies that you could see, especially the ones that are kind of the little cluster guys. They have the big, juicy, delicious, moist.
Please don't say that
pod. I went there. A little swarm floods on their backs, and then when you shoot them or melee them or whatever, whenever there's any kind of impact, a bunch of little floods kind of run out at you, dispersing from this one larger unit. So it'd be cool to see, I think, something similar to that in later versions of Halo, such as Infinite, where when you maybe melee the back of a hunter, one of the trade-offs is that while it may kill the actual hunter units itself a lot quicker, you then have to deal with some of the Lekgolo worms who could do something like maybe slow you down, or maybe even merge into another nearby hunter if one's available as well too. So the trade-off is that you get to kill the main unit, but the downside is you might have these smaller kind of sub enemies that you might have to deal with as well too. So there's a lot of different options around there.
Yeah, to be honest, when you brought that up earlier, I thought that was a fantastic idea. I think that's probably one of the most unique things you could do with the hunters, and one of the things as well is if you threw a grenade at them, it could disperse lots of little Lekgolos, and you could see like a little, not a big one, but a tiny little swarm of Lekgolos sort of just wriggling their way to you quite quickly, and then you can.
Or like with the rocket or something, anything big.
Yeah, exactly, and it's the risk versus reward, and you could probably see parallels in how they move. If you're watching Halo Nightfall, because the Lekgolo worms were in that, and the way they moved, they were quite rapid. They were really fast and intimidating.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'd change the rating of the game, because it's. I don't know. I'm thinking some like weird hentai shit there, but I mean, yeah.
You went there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind if Halo went back to its M roots as well too. I think we need blood back in Infinite. Kind of going on a little bit of a tangent, but I think we need blood and a little bit more realism. Even we've talked about it before a lot. It's kind of a cute little topic to think about too. But having Halo add some of those classic horror elements back into the franchise, I think would be really great. And hunters have an opportunity to do that, maybe with the worms.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. And also, one of the things I wanted to go back to on the time to kill is, and you brought it up very briefly, but other enemies coming at you whilst you're being pressured. So the hunter is a big thing, that the big centerpiece in the combat scenario that you want to take down. Although, if when you start adding other elements such as crawlers, I mean, maybe not crawlers, but grunts, or maybe skirmishers, jackals, add all that into the mix, and that can really work for some dynamic gameplay. It really pressure, and if you create a really good sandbox within Halo Infinite, then what's going to happen then is you could change it around every single time. It could be randomly spawned types of enemies, and actually, could you incorporate that into a sort of firefight game type? I mean, well, that's a different video in itself.
I think we definitely need firefight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we can go over that in another video, but I think there definitely needs to be that extra sandbox game type for Halo going forward. And I think actually maybe with the resurgence of Halo Reach and seeing how that's received and seeing if people actually do play it, we'll maybe say to 343 there is or isn't a demand for this.
Yeah, I think it'd also be cool, like in the sandbox element of things too, to see something kind of like the Watchers in Halo 4 and in Halo 5 a little bit as well too, where maybe there's some sort of Covenant version of a healer unit, more of a secondary enemy. Maybe it doesn't do too much damage, but are kind of reinforcing those hunters' health and HP. Or maybe it could even be the worms as well too. That could be another option for that kind of split off mechanic, where maybe the worms can go into another hunter, or even maybe some of the Covenant. I don't know how that works lore and biology wise, but maybe that could heal those units as well too, almost like support.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure how it worked in Halo Wars 2. I didn't play it in depth, with the hunters, but I'm sure they had some like regen abilities, or they did definitely leave the host body, so there's a lot you could probably incorporate, and when they're in groups, they let go or are pretty intelligent, so yeah, it's definitely a possibility on that front. I just think they need to get creative and think outside the box with it, really.
I hope that no one listening to this is about to eat or something as we're discussing worms morphing and
saying the word moist. Yeah, it's not ideal. Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter at @ultimate_Halo.
Speaking of moist, let's move into some questions from the Halo community. From Twitter, again, you can tweet us at @ultimate_Halo, or leave a comment here in this video with any questions or discussion topics you'd like us to touch on in the next episode of the podcast. First one here is from B-Train with an excessive number of E's. He said, do you think the competitive scene for Halo will still keep going on Xbox, or do you think everyone will be switching to PC going forward, or a split between the two? What are your thoughts?
Well, actually, and I was initially going to say move towards PC at first, because when I initially thought about it, most of the main esports are done on PC. Mouse and keyboard is a hugely accurate thing, and when it comes to actual competitive games, generally that's the preference. Although, and I don't know what the status of this is at the moment with Microsoft and Xbox, but mouse and keyboard support coming to select Xbox titles still is on the horizon somewhere. And
that'd
actually,
be weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that'll be received by the casual fan, but I think at the end of the day, I think that'll negate the need for some people to even have a PC in the first place, because if you've got a mouse and
about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, but some people who might want to use mouse and keyboard but don't necessarily need a PC. I know plenty of people, friends in real life, who don't even have a computer. They just use their laptop. Not laptop. The tablet is just their general driver as well as the phone, and then they've got a games console on top of that. So I don't know. I think it's purely going to have to be one of those things. We'll wait and see. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think that there's going to be a place for both. When you look at Halo's roots and where it's always been, and especially where it started, was designed and kind of set the industry. Set the boundaries of what the industry could do with a 2 joystick layout for an FPS game. Halo set all of that roadwork. So I don't think when it comes to the competitive and esports side of things for the franchise, I don't think that will ever go away. But I do think there's a huge opportunity when you look at what Overwatch League is doing, for example, and CSGO with those first-person shooters. I think Halo is perfectly positioned to get back into that, especially with all the nostalgia that the franchise brings as well, too. So you have both of those sides. But I think Halo will definitely stay true to its roots for sure. It'll be pretty exciting to see. Final question from our friend James Tamplin. He said, oh, awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I have a question. When are you inviting me on? Never? Tomorrow?
I'll
next
think
week.
I'll sleep on it. We'll be in touch.
Confirmed. He said, just kidding. How are you guys going to play MCC in the future? Going to make the move to PC or stick with the Xbox? Personally, I think I'll be on both.
Yeah. I struggle thinking about this one because, I mean, I'm very much like flowing between the two. Like Apex Legends, I have it both on my PC and I have it both on my Xbox. I think I play Xbox more, but casually. But when I really want to step it up and actually like go. I use the Xbox for my real life friends, people I went to school with, people who I work with. But my online friends, I tend to play more with on PC because it's a bit more of a hardcore audience, hardcore set of gamers. So yeah, I think it'd be both. I think it's perfectly viable to do both, and hopefully
still going to be trash on both.
Well, yeah, that's true. Let's not talk about the Birmingham vlog where I am. But what about you?
Card top right corner, click it.
No, please. Oh my god. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to quickly move to the subject. What do you think, Kenny? What are you going to do? Both?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be on both. I think I do have a setup, of course, for Xbox and PC gaming as well. I have the hardware for both. I have the 4K monitor, I have the HDR, weird flex, but okay. But I'm really excited, I think, to see both, especially how the gameplay works as well too. Again, with all the features that Sketch has announced, especially on that Inside Xbox show as well, he really reinforced and hit home the idea that this Halo PC experience has to be done, to use his words, the right way. They have to do justice to PC fans, but also the legacy of the Halo franchise itself and everything that's meant to us, the Halo fans. So I'm really excited to see both, and I think I'll definitely be playing both as well too. Kind of a non-confrontational position to have, but I think there's a place for both of them, and that's, I think, where I'll be.
Amen. By the rings. I think that about wraps things up, if you ask me. So,
can I get a ho, yeah?
Yeah. So let us know what you think in the comment section down below. How do you think that the Hunters should play in Halo Infinite? As well as that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment. It helps us out tremendously. And as well as that, you can follow Kenny at the Spartacat on Twitter, myself at FletchUH, and at Ultimate_Halo.
Yeah, we're trying to work on getting at Ultimate Halo, but that'll be a little bit of a process. But thank you guys so much for listening. Once again, if you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you can stay up to date with all the latest Halo MCC and Halo Infinite news right here on the channel with Jack Fletcher. My name is Kenny the Spartacat, and we'll catch you guys next time right back here on Ultimate Halo. G'day. Meow.
Subscribe now to Ultimate Halo for more unfriggin' believable Halo content.